Hello dear students, myself Anu Singh, a teacher at Sita Group of Education. Students, we know that our environment is very precious for us. Everything, whatever we are having in our surroundings is God gifted. We have to conserve our environment not for today but for our future generations also, because environment is very precious. You cannot get it for any cost. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to study various topics which will be covered under this chapter number 1, environment. This chapter is very important for you because everything, whatever the chapter consists of, the living things, the non-living things, and how do they interact with each other, how are they incomplete without each other, and after joining hands with each other, how the environment becomes a complete ecosystem for us and a better place to live in. For that, we are going to discuss everything in this chapter. So let's start chapter number 1, environment. Okay, this is the chapter number 1, environment. First of all, we are going to study about the components of environment. What are the components of environment? Firstly, when we talk about environment, we say that our environment is both. What both? It is natural as well as man-made, because the environment consists of both the things, that is, that are naturally appearing and some of them are man-made. Okay, when we talk about the components of environment, we say that environment comprises of two components. What are the two components? The number one is biotic component and the other one is abiotic component. Now, discussing about the first point, that is biotic component. Whatever the living things are present in our environment, in our surroundings, those all things are categorized under one heading, that is biotic components. Means, if definition we say, then biotic components comprises of living things. What do they comprise of? The living things. What are the living things? Like plants, animals, etc. These are all living things and they comprise together to form a biotic component. These are the biotic components. Okay, so if anyone asks you that what are biotic components, then you will say the components which comprise of living things, they are known as biotic components. Moving on to the next, abiotic components. What are the abiotic components? It's just the reverse of biotic. What biotic was something about living organisms, living things, and here abiotic comprises of non-living things. Abiotic components comprises of non-living things. Okay, non-living things like air, water, land, etc. These are non-living things, but they are abiotic components. Besides biotic and abiotic component, we link them together. Why? Because they are absolutely incomplete without each other. They join hands together to form a complete environment. How? Both, if you see the next point, it is written that both biotic and abiotic components are dependent on each other. They are dependent on each other. Like if we talk about some examples, we say, for example, if we take, we say soil. Soil is what type of component? It is a abiotic component. Okay, it is a abiotic component. And on the other hand, if we talk about, we say plant. Plants are what type of components? They are biotic components. Okay, they are biotic components. Without soil, plants cannot survive, and without plants, soil have no chance, or they have nothing to do, or they have no work on this environment. Okay, so if soil is not present, then plants cannot grow, they cannot extend their species in whole of our environment. So biotic and abiotic, both of them are interdependent on each other. Means without one, the other is absolutely incomplete. Okay, then we come to the next point. What is the next point? Next point is our natural environment. When we talk about the natural environment, we say our natural environment can be categorized into three parts. What are those three parts? Lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. These are the three parts of our natural environment. That is, number one is lithosphere, number two hydrosphere, number three is your atmosphere. Lithosphere constitutes from land, okay? Hydrosphere constitutes from water and atmosphere constitutes from air. In short, if we group all these three things, we say land plus water plus air. It comprises or it adds up together to form an environment. Okay, these all three components come together to form an environment. A very basic thing, let's see about it. Lithosphere, it constitutes from land. Like, coming to this lithosphere, it's starting from L. The first letter is L. It is easy to learn that L for lithosphere and L for land. Clear? Then H for hydrosphere, okay? And hydrosphere, you know, you can connect it to some part. You have studied about hydrological cycle. What is hydrological cycle? It is the other name for water cycle, okay? It is the other name for water cycle. So you can constitute it to link it directly to that thing and you can learn water, that hydrosphere is connected from water. And the other thing is atmosphere. The first letter is A for atmosphere, and linking it together with air, A for air. So it is an easy concept to learn. Lithosphere is for land, hydrosphere is for water and atmosphere is for air. And all these three combine together to form one environment. Now, one by one, we are going to take up the topic. We are going to study that what is the importance of each and every part. Coming to very first, lithosphere. The solid crust of the earth is known as lithosphere. The solid crust means the solid part of the earth, that is the land, okay? The land, the solid part of the earth is known as lithosphere. The other point says, this is the basic definition, okay? You can mark it as a definition of lithosphere, that the solid crust of the earth is known as lithosphere. This is the definition of lithosphere. The other important part of lithosphere is that lithosphere is the part of earth. In easy language you can understand this, that lithosphere is the part of earth where we can stand, okay, where we can stand, build houses and grow plants. And these all things you can do only and only on the land surface. That is why lithosphere is connected with the land, or it is constituted with the land. Okay, lithosphere, again I am telling, lithosphere is that part of the earth where you can stand, walk, roam, anything you can do, build houses, live in there, and you can grow plants, agriculture practices can be done, okay? So these all things can only and only be done on the surface of the earth. Coming to the next part, hydrosphere. Okay, what is hydrosphere? The liquid components. Previously I have told you that hydrosphere is related to water. So hydrosphere, mark the definition, the liquid components of the earth are called hydrosphere. Whatever the liquid components on the earth's surface are there, they all form together, they all come together to form one category, that is hydrosphere. Whatever the liquid parts you are able to find on this earth, okay? So what are those liquid parts? We say that our hydrosphere includes oceans, okay, seas, lakes, ponds, rivers and streams. Means these are the various sources of water that is present on the surface of the earth. It means that all these things, all these sources come together to form one particle or one component, that is the hydrosphere. Okay, these all categories come under one heading, that is hydrosphere. Then we move on to the atmosphere. What is atmosphere? The layer of air, okay, the layer of air that surrounds the earth is called atmosphere. Whatever the surrounding air you can feel, basically you cannot see the air, okay, so whatever the air that is surrounding you, you can feel that air, it comes under atmosphere. Okay, that is why it is said the layer of air that surrounds the earth is called atmosphere. Now the other thing is, atmosphere provides a right mixture of gases, a right mixture of gases required by various life forms. Okay, various life form means there is a composition of gases which is present in the atmosphere. Okay, in various ratios, the various gases are present in our atmosphere, and these gases perform their own basic functions to support the life which is present on the earth. Okay, next part. Biosphere. What is biosphere? Biosphere, mark the definition. Biosphere is the narrow zone where we find land, water and air. Biosphere is the narrow zone where we find land, water and air. Means, in short, we can categorize this that lithosphere plus hydrosphere plus atmosphere, all these three categories come together to form one, that is biosphere. You can see in the diagram, you can see to it, the diagram which is coming in front of you. You can see lithosphere, that is, here you can take a look, lithosphere, that is land. Atmosphere, which means air, and hydrosphere, which is for water. Okay, and here a big circle which has a little part of land, you can see a little part of air here and a little part of water over here, and these all three come together to form one category, that is biosphere. I hope you have understood. Means biosphere is that area, that zone in which all these three categories fall, that is land, air as well as water. Here, in short, lithosphere plus hydrosphere plus atmosphere, these all three add up together to form one category, that is biosphere. Okay, when we are talking about our atmosphere, we say that our atmosphere is divided into various layers. We are going to study some of those layers. Number one is troposphere, then comes your stratosphere, third one is your mesosphere, and the last one is your thermosphere. Okay, these are the various layers of the atmosphere. You can see in the diagram here. This is the earth, you can see this is the earth, and the layer which is just above the earth's surface. Okay, the layer which is just above the earth's surface, where you can see the aeroplanes, where you can see the parachutes flying, where you can see the trees also in that layer. Okay, so that layer which is just above the layer of the earth's surface is known as the atmospheric layer of troposphere. Okay, then we come to the next layer of our atmosphere, that is stratosphere. Stratosphere is the layer which is situated just above the layer of troposphere. Okay, then above that stratosphere you can see the mesosphere, the layer of mesosphere, and above that thermosphere. In the layer the thermosphere, and after this one more layer is there which you will study in your higher classes, that is known as exosphere, which is totally outside in the space. Okay, the thermosphere, we have talked about the troposphere. Then we come to stratosphere. You have studied about the ozone layer which is present there in the troposphere. Okay, the ozone layer is present in the troposphere, and above that troposphere you can find out mesosphere, and above that thermosphere. In thermosphere layer, many satellites, okay, rockets, these all things can easily be seen, or they cannot be easily seen, but they are just present in the thermosphere layer of our atmosphere. So these are some important layers. You have to see to it that the very first layer, starting from the surface of the earth and going towards the upside, we see the first layer is troposphere, the second layer is stratosphere, third layer is mesosphere, and the last one is thermosphere. Exosphere and ionosphere is also there present, but you will study in your higher classes. Coming to the adaptation to the environment. What do you mean by adaptation to the environment? Mark down the definition, very important for you. The special characteristics that enable plants and animals to survive or live in a particular environment are called adaptation. Few examples are also given. For example, camel, the ship of desert. Number 2 is polar bears, survivors in cold climate. Number 3 is fish, which can survive only and only in water. Now, one easy question to all of you. If you see a plant growing nearby your house, can you think that why this plant has grown over there? What is the reason behind the growth of this plant near your house or in the given area? You just have to stick to one point, that a plant can survive, whatever the living thing is growing in that area or in a given place, that can survive only and only when it is having the favorable climatic conditions for its life to support. Otherwise, these plants or animals or any living creature cannot survive. Why they cannot survive? Because if they are not getting the basic necessary conditions for their survival, they are not going to survive, or they cannot withhold the harsh environment and they will die. So adaptation means that characteristics of that plant or animal which help them to survive in a particular environment. Without those characteristics, these animals cannot survive. Further, we are going to study about this in with the help of the examples. Okay, so number 1 example is your camel. Now see camel. Camel is known as the ship of desert. Why it is known as the ship of desert? Because the long distances in the deserts are covered by the camels. Okay, these camels, what do? They store water inside themselves. Now, camels drink water once, and with the help of one time drinking water, they can live for weeks. For at least 1 week, they can survive without water. So this is a characteristic, okay? Surviving for just one time water, with the help of just drinking one time water, this is a special characteristic that is found in the animals like camels. Because of this characteristic only, these camels can easily survive, and these camels can easily withstand in such a harsh, hot and dry climate of deserts, and they can easily be used for the mode of transportation in these areas. Next, we come to polar bears. Polar bears, they can survive in the cold climate only, but if they are given the environment of hot and humid climate, can they survive? Can you think they can survive? No, they cannot survive. And polar bears are the best survivors in the cold climatic conditions because of the fur, because of the hairs that are present on their body. Those hairs are a special characteristic, okay, which keep them warm in such a cold climate also. We come to the next example, that is fish, that basically survives in water. In our childhood days, we have studied the poem Machli Jal Ki Rani Hai. Okay, so everybody must be knowing about this poem. I need not to tell you. So fish, they have a special characteristics. What are the special characteristics? That fish can only and only survive in water. These fishes, they breathe through their gills. Now, what is the special characteristic that those gills have? And if the fishes are taken out of the water, they, after 2 to 5 minutes, they die. What happens? These gills are like, you can say, dry pages which are there inside their body. For example, you can do one experiment at your home. What type of experiment? Take 2 to 3 leaves of pages, dry pages, dip them in the water. As soon as you dip them in the water, they are apart from each other. They do not stick with each other. But as soon as you take those 2-3 pages out of the water, you will see that they stick with each other, okay, leaving no space between themselves. In the same way, the gills of the fish also perform, because when the fishes are taken out of the water, the layers of the gills, they stick to each other, and when they stick to each other, there is a cut of the supply of oxygen inside their body, and when they are not able to breathe, they die due to suffocation. That is why these gills are the special characteristics present in the bodies of fishes, due to which they can survive in water, and outside water they will die. So these are some of the special characteristics which I have tried to explain you through the examples, so that you can understand that what actually adaptation is. Moving on to the next part, we talk about our ecosystem. Marking the definition of ecosystem, biotic and abiotic components comprise of together to form an ecosystem. Before this, I have told you in the starting of the topic only, I have told you what are biotic and abiotic components, and I have told this thing also, that without biotic, abiotic is incomplete, and without abiotic, biotic is incomplete. Only when they both come together, a complete ecosystem is formed. That is what it is said in this topic also. Biotic and abiotic components comprise of together to form an ecosystem. They come together, they both of them come together to form a ecosystem. The next line says, an ecosystem is a community of living and non-living things which interact with each other and function as a unit. Abiotic, here living things, okay, biotic, non-living things. And when they both comprise together, means when they both come together, they interact and function as one single unit. With the example also, I'm going to explain it to you with the help of example. Okay, for example, look at the example, soil. Earlier also I have told you, once again I am telling, soil, it is an abiotic component, and plant, it is a biotic component. Why soil is abiotic component? Because soil comes under non-living things. Okay, these come under non-living things. And plant, everybody knows that they grow, they prepare their own food. That is why they come under living things. And living things means biotic, and non-living things means abiotic. One is abiotic and one is biotic. They both are incomplete with each other. Plants cannot survive. They cannot survive without soil. So they both come together and interact with each other to provide life supporting gas, that is oxygen, for whole living community. When the soil and the plant, when they come together and the plants grow and they produce oxygen, okay, now both of them were apart from each other, but after coming together they are giving a life supporting gas, that is oxygen. And oxygen is such an important gas that every living being in this environment on this earth, it needs this oxygen in order to support its own life. That is what abiotic and biotic, both the components go hand in hand. So we cannot say that abiotic is something else and biotic is something else, because they both come together and perform as one single unit, okay, because without each other they are not complete. After coming together only, they are called complete. And without a biotic, an ecosystem or our environment cannot exist, and without biotic, our ecosystem or environment cannot exist. So both of these components are equally important for our environment. Okay, so this was something about our environment which we have studied today, and you should think about it that what, like one example I have given you about soil and plant, they go hand in hand. So in the same way, you will try to think that what else, what other things also are present in these environment which come together to constitute one unit, and they perform as a one single unit and do many functions for our living communities. So you have to think about such more examples. Okay, so we have completed today's topic and we have covered many of these things. I hope you might have understood. Not only understanding is optimum, you need to prepare the notes also. You need to learn these things also, because for your upcoming exams, these topics are very important and they are going to fetch you marks also. So don't take it lightly. Be very serious with your studies and keep studying. Thank you.